Let's see, here we go. Another week, another stream. Hello everyone, welcome back. When last we left off, we got a good chunk done of the Hyena Bard. We got the chains. We got the glove, skull, and then we added some of the ornaments, such as these clasps. And we fixed the shoulder. I was looking at the sleeve that we have for a little bit, and there's a couple of issues with it. Mainly because we have several... I feel like the edge flow can be done better here, because here we have... Where's the high poly? So if you look over here, we have... it has a sharper silhouette line over here, and the topology doesn't really follow it. It looks like it's going over diagonal. And because of that, we are getting quite a few non-planar edges, or non-planar faces, and I would like to fix that. So let's start with that one. Also, for some reason, my Maya decided to reset its settings, so I managed to get back as much as I think I have, but if anything looks off on stream, please let me know. Okay, so there it is. So this is one of the preferences where this thing it's now solid blue. So what was it? Options, mesh alpha. We'll lower this by quite a bit. Yeah, so here you can see it most where the shape goes like this. This is where the peak of the shoulders cloth part is, but our topology goes right over it as a more of a diagonal. Or rather, it goes over horizontally and it's a diagonal shape, so we could try to triangulate a few. Let's see how that goes. Oh, hi Elianos, welcome on in. Just to see if we can get the shape to line up a bit better. So I have to make sure that this doesn't slide off too much. Yeah, so we're gonna fix this thing that I kind of did quickly last week. Okay, let's see. I feel like because over here you can definitely see that the shape of the high poly. It's been a while since you stopped by. Still working on the Hyena? Yes, we are currently working on retopology. So, if we go to ZBrush and look at the high poly, we can see that all of the sculpted details are in here. I'm pretty satisfied with the result. I think it looks pretty neat. And now we are working on turning it into an actual low poly that could hypothetically go into a game. So for that we need to make a low poly, and that is quite a technical thing that is taking a bit of time. Thank you. Hope I'm doing well. I'm doing well enough. Yeah, we're gonna focus on art again today. So go back to Maya. A lot of it is taking shape, with which I'm very happy. I'm gonna see if just as a test, I want to see if this works. Also, just gonna keep the alpha completely off. It feels like this definitely needs to be higher up. Like we have this type of edge flow. bit of a janky one because the... Okay, so from top view, I'm happy with this. And now we have an edge that's actually following the apex of the shoulder. So with this, I'm happy. But then we lack the density that goes over the vertical elements of it. Smooth out a little bit, see what it gives us. Yeah, I hope you've been doing well, Ilianos. Maybe we can add a few triangles. What if I cut like this? That way, if we smooth out, get just a little bit extra of density here. I think we can do the same trick down here as well. Now we should... Doing good, still on holiday for a few more days, just relaxing. Nice. Holidays are amazing. Enjoy them to the fullest. Okay. This one definitely looks like it's not on the apex. This is something that I've seen being done on models quite a few times, where you add a little triangle at the bottom line. Just see how this goes. But because it's a triangle, it's going to get pulled down more. But it does give us just a few extra polygons to get that round edge in there. I think that will make a measurable difference. Okay. Let's do a quick test bake. If we look at it now. So because there's a triangle there, it does have like a little bit of a different shading. We'll see how this goes. I'm definitely a lot more happier with how the silhouette reads. Especially if you look at it from multiple angles. Okay. So, new UVs, planar map. Great. Yeah, again, my settings reset, so this is actually pretty nice. So on planar map, I'm not that big a fan of the default projections. Because it is trying to do it, it does not respect the width to height ratio. It grabs the top of the ears, the bottom of the foot, and then it just skewed it, and it does it from the side. So ideally, it does respect the width to height ratio. And on the options, you can actually enable that. So if I enable that and then hit apply, You can already see now it actually respects it. And I'm gonna say that I would like to get a projection from the front, which would be, I believe, Z. Yeah. Now we have a projection from the front. This is going to help us, rather, if when we're going for the actual final UVs, or it's always dangerous to use the word final in any 3D project. When we're gonna take a serious swing at the UVs, we will be starting from a front projection because you get a lot of things out of the box. But for now, we're just gonna get a automatic mapping. We're gonna do a layout. We are going to export this. Baking. We will not be exporting as a Maya file. I need my OpenJs. Body work in progress low. We go over the marmoset. Okay, so we see changed. Oh, that's because it is a width material. So I'm going to turn materials off in export, re-export. Okay, body. Is there a way to tell it to... Oh yeah, reload. Okay. Materials, body material, put it on, and we have our scrambled normals again, so we have to rebake. Rebake quickly, and there we go. Okay. Looking at the sleeve. Quite happy with that. They'll probably... Yeah, so because this is such a narrow element, I'm gonna go with... Okay, I'll accept this for now. This is such a minor thing in the end that I'll just manually paint it out. Okay. Yeah, as mentioned previously, these fertiles will get split later on. Let's get those smaller elements, such as the buckles, in here real quick. Because I want to see what they look like when we go... when we get some test pics on those. So for now, I find the body to be good. We have not renamed any of this. So that's bad on my part. This one goes into decimated. Hide it. These clasps. So again, there are some edges in here that were specifically for the subdivision workflow, where you prefer to have your faces to be a lot more square, so that when you smooth them out, they will not deform. What do you call it? I can quickly demonstrate this. So subdivision modeling. If I hit 3 right now, you can see that everything gets smoothed out. If I do not have these edges in here, the smoothing is gonna look completely different. So at least if I smooth it now, I do not have enough edges to hold that shape. So that's why they're there in the high poly, alongside with some creasing. Crease tools. You can get the shape. So those edges were there purely for the high poly. Now in the low poly, we do not need them. They're useless. We don't want useless edges in our models. Let me undo a whole bunch. Yeah, get rid of these. And now we can just go to edit mode. Get rid of all of these edges. Because again, we would like our game... You want your game objects to be as optimized as possible. Hey Dokkadan, welcome on in. These things no longer serve a purpose, so... yeah, we can get rid of them. Hard edge. What do you mean? Yeah, these are non-planar. I should probably help triangulate that one, so we're gonna tell it triangulate like this. Just to not let the computer be RNG, because it could also triangulate it like this. And then that is not the way we want it to look. So this is where we make the decision for the computer. We're going to tell it, we want you to triangulate it like this. And then these edges once again become... we no longer need them. Here in the back we can collapse them. And these edges serve no purpose, so we delete them. Okay. I'm gonna have to do the same for all of these. How's everyone been doing? Oh. I were to talk about my week a little bit. Where I live, there's a lot of farm fields around. And I like to go walking through them. And last Sunday, that walk turned into a 4.5-hour hike. And by sheer chance, I actually found a new route to a nearby castle. Starpy, thank you very much for the follow. Train of thought. Yeah, so here in the Netherlands, there's quite a few castles that are still around, and people have actually renovated quite a few of them to be like small cafes or places where you can sleep. Castles, you live in the EU? Yep, I'm from the Netherlands. So over here we have quite a few old buildings, old castles, and a friend of mine took me to a castle like 3 years ago, and I always thought it was like, oh yeah, like it took us 3 hours to get there. Because we were walking through the forest and taking all of these scenic routes. Turns out that castle is like 1 hour walks away, because I at random took a new route, and that road literally leads directly to the castle. It was just always slightly around the curvature of a hill, so I never saw it, even though I've been walking that route for over a year now. So that was fun. Okay. So that's these done. Same treatment for these. You want European castles around you? Yeah. Castles are amazing. Just walking in there and the entire vibe. I like how the ceilings are a lot lower in castles and everything is made out of wooden paneling. If they have parts of original furniture from back in the day where everything is just hand-carved. Portraits on the walls, the draperies, everything is... It's a vibe. It's really nice. Yeah, medieval buildings. The weather at some point, however, did say, okay, I'm done being nice, so enjoy the shower rain. So then I had a perfect excuse to go into the castle and enjoy a nice piece of pie and a nice beer. Because, of course, they had a local... They had a local brew. So I enjoyed... I enjoyed sitting in a castle for like close to an hour before walking back home. That was my weekend. It was very nice. Okay, so that's another 2 done. And let me look at these 2 for last. So again, we have a lot of edges in here that are... They're there purely when I hit smooth, that they don't collapse on their own shape. Because we have some of these elements that are a bit curved, we do need them. But if we were to, for example, look at this element on the inside, come on, faces. These are faces that are inside the geometry. We don't need them. So let me select some faces on the inside, and then I can just tell it to grow selection. Yeah, and I think this is reasonable. We just get rid of these. Same for this clasp. Try to... Slightly thicker for some reason. Otherwise we'll make selections like this. Grow our selection. Again, delete it. We can get rid of these. Yeah, they're embedded far enough. This one's slightly peeking through, so we'll delete it from here. And again, these faces are planar, so I can get rid of these edges. You see me removing these edges and the silhouette does not change. Can I get rid of these? I think the normal map can carry that. Because again, looking at it from this distance, if let's say that this was a character for a mobile game and how do we say this? If this was intended for a mobile game and the job said, hey, we need 25,000 triangles for this character, this belt buckle would just be baked into the texture. This is such a small object. It would only be texture information. There would be significantly different decisions being made, because if we look at the chain, like the chain is already 4.2k triangles. Like the 36k is where we're at in total now. I'm just making the decision of I want to have these be represented with geometry, because we're going for a more high poly look. But it's always worth asking, okay, what's my budget? And how big is the element on the character itself? So, let's see, 728 polygons for belt buckles. bit royal, but we'll take it. Oh. Get rid of these. Alright, 692. I think that looks good. Let's do a quick little bake. I will just combine these together. Call them buckles. I give them some UVs. Create. Wait, none of you can see the model, the maps. And again, I have been looking at, can I just do a full screen capture? But unfortunately, like I have a handful of files that I should not show on stream. Just because those are NDA files, and that would be very bad if I would accidentally flash one of them. And Windows is very active in like, oh, would you like to open up your last file, and then shows a thumbnail of it. Like, one of those moments is already enough to get me in the hot water. So for now, I might have to find a setup where I have like maybe like a different account on my computer, so that Windows theoretically should not show any files from the other account. Maybe that will be the solution. Okay. Ooh, this is a UV to get. This is not final. Please, for the love of God, do not give anyone UVs like this. Especially if they're like hard surface elements such as belt buckles. Like, just please don't. Export. Buckle slow. Cool. We go to Marmoset. Bring him in. New baking group. Again, this file is getting a bit messy, but it's fine. Because all of these are test bakes. Yeah, see, I just hit import and Windows opened up a window to a different project. Now granted, that's just another personal project, so it would have been fine, but if this was an NDA file, I would have been cooked. So this is why we do this. Okay. These buckles. Like, I would like technology to not be so... Hey Roy Enzo, welcome on in. Sometimes I wish technology was a little bit less... Here, let me try to help you. Like, no, I just need you to do as instructed. I don't need you to try and anticipate the things that I want. Okay. Go to ZBrush, we get the belt buckles from the high poly. That will be... these. Apply. See, these are... Yeah, how are you doing, Enzo? Correct me, like, am I misremembering? Weren't you talking about a portfolio a few weeks ago? Like, you wish to show some stuff? We have our highs. Yep, we're talking about portfolio 2 to 3 weeks ago. Alright, how's that been going? I hope everything's going well. Still waiting for announcement. Alright. but it's your own portfolio. Don't you have control of when that one gets released? Or are you like collaborating with another party? Also adds in 3 seconds. I'll just set up a new texture for this one, then we'll do the bake. So for anyone who might be new, we just assign a new texture map. 2K is fine, normals, ambient occlusion. Set bake to offline because otherwise it will try to recalculate every time we make a choice or a change. We'll just hit bake. You send it to 3 companies. Huh. Hey, the Brianator. Welcome on in. Wait, I'm confused. So Roy Enzo, so you have your portfolio, it is finished, and you sent it to 3 companies, and you hope that one of the 3 will get back at you? Is that how I should be reading it? Oh, it's for an internship. Okay, I gotcha. Okay. That normal map is barely doing anything. Well, it gives a slight bit of a beveled edge. Okay. These things. Yeah, especially when we lower the roughness and make it more metallic. Yeah, then you absolutely see that the normal map is a must. Okay. Let's see, what's the roughness of the other things? 0.3, that's default. Alright. Yeah, Roy Enzo, if you're comfortable with that, I would love to see your portfolio. Like, if you have a link on Blue Sky, I'd love to see it. Okay. This also works, so that's buckles. Let's see, let's do a quick bake for the shoulder pads and these bolts, and then we should be good again. Okay, this one I'll just UV properly because this is such a simple shape. So... Oh, hey Juiceps, welcome on in. Let's see... basics of UVing, you always... Oh, do not delete. We cut them here. You always want to have your UV cuts to be in places where you don't generally see them. Then we unfold. Let's see, let's straighten it out on this. And same with this one. We'll tell it to straighten shell. And layout. Can send it during your DM. Yes, please. I'd love to see your portfolio. I'm always curious what other people are working on, because we have more than a few really cool artists in this chat. Thank you all very much for hanging out. Let's see. So that's the basic UV. We'll do the same for the bolts. Automatic. Start. These are hot garbage. I'll work on one of them at a time. So one up front. Coincidentally. Again, in the spirit of keeping things low poly, all of these can just be a singular polygon. Let me quickly change that here as well. Again, this was just here for the sub-D workflow. We no longer need them. We optimize, we collapse. Get rid of, make a cut here. Hello. Go. Okay, so this one can be unfolded. This one unfold. Let's see, unfold, see what we get. So we have quite a bit of distortion. If we check it like this. What were the colors again? I think blue is stretched, red is compressed, so the inside of the bolt is getting quite... yeah, that one's getting quite pushed in. Let's see what it looks like with a few cuts, because... with Substance Painter taking the distortion into account, we might not need to do this, but if we do it like this, we have less tension, but we have a lot more cuts. Echoborb, welcome on in. So, to like put my thoughts out there, actually, yeah, so two ways of UVing. This one, we put a lot of cuts on the edges, which allows for less, it has less deformation on the UVs, like less stretching. However, we do have a lot more UV cuts, and whenever you have a UV cut, there is a bigger chance for pixel information not lining up, and you will see, like that you see it on the model of like, okay, that's a seam, and those ruin immersion. So, as a test, because I'm curious, I'm gonna leave one without the cuts and one with the cuts, and we'll just see which one gives better results. See. I do believe I want to give these a hard edge. Display, reset on display. Then we'll see which one performs better. Little test. So we'll call these shoulder pad. Slow. We'll call this one shoulder pads. Okay. Armor set. Breaking group. Send me a DM. Cool, thank you. I'll check it out. Let's see, because chat request. Yeah, I see your message request. I'll accept it after stream. So to keep the focus on here and to keep the show going. Yeah, thank you. I'm very curious to it. Let's see. Import, baking, shoulder pad bolts, shoulder pad plate. Put them in the right orders. Kick over the ZBrush, get the high polys. Because again, we have like a little... Oh, didn't mean to enlarge that one. Go. We have some creasing on it, so we have like a nice soft edge. This thing is 1.1 million. Like, if you ever decide to make a game and you make the shoulder pauldron 1.1 million polygons, I will find you. I just want... I've seen games that try to do this. I've seen the toothbrush of 100,000 polygons. Don't do that. Yeah, that's too much. I'm gonna decimate that one real quick. Paste. Decimation. Pre-process current. Because I'm not putting a shoulder pauldron of 1.1 million in my marmoset file. Yeah, no. 200. If we look at the wireframe, so again, Decimation Master inside ZBrush respects topology by a lot. Because as you can see, where the surface is a lot more planar, it got rid of some density. But on the beveled edges, especially here on the corner, you can see that it is respecting it by quite a bit by putting a lot more polygons in there. So surface-wise, we have not lost anything. And now we're at like 200,000 polygons, which is a lot more acceptable. Let's see. Assets, baking, this is the shoulder blade. High. And we're gonna grab these bolts. They are 180. That's fine. Okay. Back to Marmoset. Don't you love working in 3 software packages at the same time? This is game dev life. Shoulder pads, plate high and bullseye import. Takes a second to load. It's getting there. Shoulder pad and shoulder pad. Wait, no, these are the bolts. This is how easy it is to mock up. These are the bolts. This is the plate. I wonder if you can color code these. Because that would be like a pretty nice but come on, words. In Substance Painter, you can give layers colors, so you can do little mental compartmentalizing of, okay, this group is done. I'm gonna color it green. This layer is still being worked on, so I'm gonna make it orange. Like that type of housekeeping will make things a lot easier. Okay, so we have shoulder pads, material here, shoulder pad bolts. Here. Both, because otherwise you're gonna keep calculating. I've been doing the thing where for this personal project is fine, but I have been using shoulder pad and shoulder plate interchangeably. Do as I say, not as I do. Please keep your naming conventions, what's the word, cohesive? Because again, I work on this file by myself, so I'll know. Oh yeah, plate and pad can be used interchangeably. I'm fine. If I were to give this to another team member who has never touched this file, they might be thinking, oh, there should be a second thing in here because plate and pad are not the same. Where was it? Okay. Bake again. Nope. I do want ambient occlusion as well, since we're testing those two. Rebake and rebake. Okay. This one. Filter pad. Wiggle light looks good. Ambient occlusion. Hello. Okay. It's very minimal, but noticeable. Alright, the bolts. Okay. I'm gonna hide this one for now. I just want to see if there's like any big visual changes between these two. Can I isolate selection? I don't think I can. So is there like a big visual difference between these two? Ambient occlusion is quite a lot. Turn it off for now. I'm just interested in the roughness. Again, I'm mostly looking at the UV cuts here. You can kind of see it. If you're really zoomed in, you can see the tiniest of seams because there is an actual UV cut there. This might not even show up on stream. Over here, let's get a little bit more bendy. So here. Does this show up? No, it doesn't. I'm mainly doing this for myself as well, just to see, okay, can I, like, which one would be better? These are, what's this geometry? Okay, so these are the bakes. We have a small seam here. Up here, the gradient barely noticeable as opposed to the fused. We have a lot more gradients, but we don't have seams. Alright, I think for this project I'm gonna go with the fused ones. So if we go back to Maya. So I'm gonna go with this method for this project. It's okay that we have stress in them. I'm okay with that. So we'll just merge these back. Unfold. Okay. So again, for this project, I'm using, looks edible. Please don't eat UVs. I think they're very sharp. For this project, I'm gonna go with this method. I've had it happen in previous projects where UV cuts were giving a lot of issues in the shading. Come on, words. Different projects have different requirements. That's why there's no silver bullet for UVing. Is UV wrapping hard? I think I have to learn it soon after I got accepted. UV unwrapping isn't difficult, but it is it needs a certain mentality. Hang on, let me quickly save this. Go slow. Back to marmoset. Okay, rebake. Okay, cool. So UVing is all about. Let me go to Maya real quick. What happened in this space? Okay. Anyway. Right, because I have this turned on. So UVing is where you have your 3D model and you want your 2D images to get texture coordinates that had the information on, I need you to display this pixel information on this location of the 3D model. Like, that is what UVing is. This is the entire character flattened like a pancake, and it is not possible to have your character to be just a frontal projection, because then stuff like the armpits, on the crotch, on the inside of the leg, you need to make decisions on making cuts so you can unfold the character in a logical way. Do I have a previous characters I might be able to demonstrate on? No, I do not. What do I want to say here? UVing is cutting up your 3D model in such a way where you can flatten it. And doing it in a smart way where you optimize this 1x1 texture square, because everything that is empty is unallocated pixels, and ideally you want to have as many pixels as possible. If you have your entire 1x1 square but you're only using like a tiny chunk of it, you are wasting a lot of space. So that's not ideal. Yeah, okay, it's good that you have a teacher, and that because figuring out UVs by yourself can be quite difficult. Everything needs to fit inside this square for one texture set. You have to be optimal. You have to try and fit as much information in there as possible. If you do a bad job at this, your texture resolution will be lower. You will have seams in places where you don't want them. For example, I've seen people put places right on the front of the character. For example, if your character is always this, like if you're playing League of Legends and your character is always from this perspective, odds are you want to put the seams like at the bottom of the arms where the camera is least likely to see them. If your character is like over the shoulder, then it might be a thing. Like if it's always looking over the shoulder, then you might want to put the UV cuts slightly different. So you don't see them on the bottom of the arm, but they might be more in the front. If you're playing an RPG game and your character can be seen from all angles, try putting them in natural places, such as odds are you're wearing clothing right now. Most of you at least, I hope. Check where natural seams are. Your shirt has a front and a back, and there is an actual seam line that runs across the edge of your torso. So you can put an edge, you can put a UV cut here. And then when textures do not align, the human brain will actually go, oh wait, that's a shirt. There is supposed to be a seam in there. And then you've hidden the UV cut in broad daylight and everyone's okay with it. So we'll get there once retopology is over. Then I'll see if I can make a lot more cohesive rambling about that. But for now, we are still in retopology chill. So this lovely mess will become more organized mess later on, I promise. Okay, so just double check marmoset. So this looks good. Okay. I would like to get those straps from the chest. And we're getting closer to the head. And I should have made more prep work for that because I still need to figure out how to do the fur tufts. At least for this character. So chest straps it is. Back to ZBrush. So yeah, so it's these things. Now they are sub-demodeled. So I can already get a lot of it. But just exporting it at probably second subdivision level. It's just that once we get here to this, what do you call this? Like star ornament, chest ornament. We'll probably have to make a few decisions on what we want to do with the polygons and like how to make this into a single fused piece. Well, let's export this into Maya. Okay, because you can see that there's like a little bit of volume, I will export it at subdivision level 2. And then we'll go from there. Yeah, so export. Remake, sure, that's fine. And I'll do one decimated export. Copy. Paste. The highest subdivision again. Reprocess. Okay. Oh, that one only took 3 seconds. Nice. Okay. That looks good. Export. Just straps, decimated. Okay. Back to Maya. Okay. Let me clean up my layout first, because I don't want to... Just want to make sure that these things are all what they say they are. Bolt. Buckles low. Okay, so these are all accurate. Chest ring. So this thing doesn't really need a high. I will give it some soft edges. And immediately turn this into a hard edge. Take this one. Okay, it's a little bit wobbly. But I think when the straps are over it, you don't see that anymore. So let's see. Chest, straps, decimated. So these are a triangulated mess. Those are just there for reference. And then import. This is the subdivision 2. Now we have some nice quads to immediately start working from. Okay. Our ad starting in a minute and a half. So let me talk my way through this real quick. From previous experiences, ideally, you want overlapping elements to have similar topology. This has to do with a later stage called the weight painting and rigging, is when you put your bones in the character model and you have to paint influence of like these faces are attached to the shoulder joint. So when the shoulder joint moves, those faces move. Like you paint influence on them. What you also have is something called the clavicle bone, which goes from the front of the sternum towards the shoulder. And if you have overlapping elements, ideally you want that influence on that bone to be similar enough where topology, where the 3D model works as one. So that when when that shoulder deforms, that the straps on top of it are weighted properly so they don't start sliding unnaturally. And for that to happen smoothly, ideally, you'd like to have your topology be somewhat similar of like the strap that's on top towards the strap that the body that's underneath it. So I think we're in ads now. I'm gonna run and get a glass of water. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I also remembered that I forgot to eat. So apologies if, like, I hope this microphone is not sensitive enough where it actually picks up stomach rumbling. Okay, advertisements add in 30 seconds. After that, people should be back and I can continue the explanation. Okay. Hang on, does my grease pencil work again? It does. Okay, cool. That's good news. Advertisement's over. Welcome back. Alright, thank you for your patience, everyone. Okay, so in the past, I've made a... yeah, so seems the belt's from the area that doesn't move much. But if it moves, it'll be hard to paint way to avoid penetration or floating, I guess. Yes. For people who are familiar with my work, my previous project was a bird gunner that had a huge chest strap that went over the shoulder and over the side of the... Like it was a belt that went like this. And I kept the topology just with the flow of that strap. This was giving major issues in the shoulder area and like where the topology just did not add up. For this project, I would like to avoid that by a lot. Can I delete this? So ideally, we have topology underneath it that goes like this. And then we have a horizontal loop. Ideally, the belt... Can I change color? I can. Ideally, we would like this belt to be somewhat similar, at least in one edge. So if we can make the topology like this, where it follows the edge flow of the body underneath it. They cover the shoulder, the half shoulder, yeah. So I think if we make topology that follows the flow of the vertical edges, I think we're going to be in a good state. I will have a talk with the rigger to see if I can, like, to see if this will alleviate some of their headaches. Yeah. Because, again, I experienced horrors trying to skin that belt. I did not do a good job at it. I had to fake a lot of things in the beauty render just to get it to look good in that one singular pose. If this was a character for actual, for like in an actual game, that thing probably would have, no, not even probably, that thing would have been called back and got told like, hi, that apologies does not work for this project. We need you to fix that. Okay. So for this one, yeah, how do I do this? If I go front view, Maya has a cut tool, and if I drag it like this, does this show up on stream? I do. So you can see like the little orange line. With that, I can make UV cuts, or not UV cuts, geometry cuts. If I do not start on the model, it's a projection. So from here on, I can tell it to follow these cuts. Now it is a projection, so I need to make sure I'm not accidentally projecting it all the way through. I believe if we make some cuts like this, we can get a pretty good start on it. So now if we delete these edges. We do not sacrifice silhouette. Ever so slightly you see it changing, but this is negligent. And then we'll also put a cut here. So now you can see that this is topology that lines up with what is underneath, at least in one direction. So my theory, and what I hope is going to happen, is if we have topology like this, when you project the influence from the body onto the belt, that it can follow. I hope. If the rigger tells me, hi, nice idea, horrible execution, please do it differently, I will go back to this. Because again, the rigger is someone far more experienced than me. So if they have better workflows, I'm always open to learning. This one, because this is more of a, like, it's not ideal. Because here underneath it, we see that we have a pole. We have faces going in like 5 directions. We'll just do our best and try to align them best we can. So underneath it, this is more like this. Okay, and if I were to delete this one, it starts penetrating through it, so we need at least one. Just delete these, and now I know I need one of these. And I'll just nudge it out. We have our high poly as a reference. We can see, okay, we're nudging it, we're breaking it a little bit, so we need to make sure it aligns a bit better. We'll do our best. So yeah, this thing is real tied up in the armpit. So whoever's gonna, yeah. This is rough. I might actually have to give it a few more polygons just in case. Yeah, like actually it would actually be better if we have a few more polygons down there. For example, if we were to put some more here, and with the edit edge tool. So there's a few more polygons to hold on to in this very dense area. For now we'll match it 1-to-1. Here on the back it becomes a lot easier again. Thank you. Okay. Put one here. Like, they don't need to be like perfectly aligned. I say that as I then it's a very minor gesture to just have to line them. We're doing this by eye. We're not like actually physically measuring with a ruler. Let's see. We are gonna put this one exactly on the center. Nope, I completely botched that one. This one needs to be on the center. Because that one's the center line. Now for this one, continue. Then this is where that curvature comes in, so this is where we have to be a little bit more careful. And I do believe I just want to keep this density here. Then get the lead as well. We'll see how we go about fusing these elements together. Because again, I think these are 3 elements, just as what we had down here. We have the hips, so we have the body, the belts, and the buckle, or the ornament. And we now have chains on top of it. Like, these are 4 major elements coming together. Okay, on the chest, the body, the belt, buckles, or no, the belt straps, and the ornament. 3 elements. I think we can combine these 2 into a singular piece. Just so for skinning later on, it'll be hopefully easier to manage. Okay. Okay. So here's a fun part. If I were to start cutting now, the projection is going to slash through whatever is on the back as well. So for this one, I will I'm going to extract this one just so I can separate them a bit easier. Oh, this one did not. One face that got left behind. Alright. Fill hole. Now, because we have this loop-de-loop, I'll just make some cuts here. What was it again? Attach component, yes. Extract. Okay. So now we have the front facing. And I can cut a lot easier. I don't have to worry about accidentally cutting the faces in the back because they're a separate object now. We can combine these later on. In the end, around difficult places like armpits, I think animators have to avoid penetration with tweakers. So adding more meshes around there, as you did, might seem righteous for me. I've had this conversation with Deke once, and she mentioned something about as long as one or the other is significantly denser, and I believe it was the clothing on top. I'm not sure, and I'm not gonna sound confident in like, oh, this is how you should do it. Like, no, I don't know this. I don't have a lot of experience with this yet. I've experienced how to not do it, but yeah, I'll have a. I'll dig around, see if I can find some good answers for this one. This one. Yeah, so seeing these polygons get like a lot more wedgy here. Like we have a wedge where over here this face is significantly shorter than this one. This one's tricky. But we'll see how it goes. But again, these are a lot of small actions. If later on it becomes apparent like, hi, we just need more, okay, then we'll grab the cut tool and start adding polygons again. So, my apologies for the pronunciation. Prisirat, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome on in, happy to have you. Let's see. Okay. We'll hide this one for now and we'll work on the back belt. This one active as well. Because again. Come on, back view. Over here, these two elements wrapping around each other, I might have to retopologize that into one part because I do not believe this character is going to have enough density. For example, in what was the Star Wars game? Oh, you're fine, Tokadan. Because I have seen games in the past. Savrix39, thank you very much for the follow. For example, the Star Wars game. I have not played it myself, like Jedi Outcast or Outlaw. On that character, you have cloth dynamics, and all of the belts are, I think, individually modeled because the rig is set up where everything slides. So you can actually have the belts wiggle around a little bit as the character is moving around and swing a lightsaber around. I do not believe that this character is going to be doing that. I want to keep it a lot more simple, so I do believe I'm going to have to merge these two. We'll find out. But for now, back view, I'm going to add a few more cuts. This is where it gets annoying, because now we're going over the shoulder. So yeah, this is probably where we just need to have enough density where it keeps up. Trying to find a middle ground between these two, because again, no wait, the pole's over there. Okay, then this one just needs to be like this. Yeah, this is where that pole is. Maybe I should have made different topology for here, but we're so far in now where this, like, that pole is there. I'm not gonna chase that one. Where'd my surface go? Genuine question, where'd it go? Is that one? One. Did I accidentally delete it? There it is again. But yeah, we have the pole here, so we shall see. Now these can go off. Then here. We'll keep it like this. Okay. Yeah, so this is where you can already see it starting to clip through a little bit, and that is not what we want. This one probably requires an extra edge. Okay, now for this one, because we have the clavicle that runs like that, so that's going to be a huge angle. This feels wrong to me. There's no way that it should be at that angle, though theoretically, like, it is following the topology underneath it. But there's a big difference. Yeah, we'll see. bottom part. Right, stitch them all back together again, combine. Do merge vertices again because we have some overlapping. As you can see up here, 498. Merge 474. We had some overlapping vertices and we don't want that because those are technical errors. Let's see. And also again soften edge. So they line up a lot more now. This one, yeah, because we also have like a whole bunch. This is asking for trouble, so I'll see if I can combine a few. We'll do it on the duplicate, so combine these two. Group these two, so chest belts. Split group, high toes. Select the wrong one. I did, so okay, so this one needs to be out, this one needs to be in. Then this one's combined, yeah. Chest belts. I want to see if I can get these two bands to work better together. Again, I anticipate problems. Just decimate it. Cool. Turn that into a live surface. We are going to town with the Quadra tool. Okay, we have ads coming in 3 minutes, so do be sure to stretch, do be sure to hydrate. Cut tool. It's going to be a cut over here. Luckily, we have a lot of similar topology, so first off, we're going to get rid of these internal faces. Put an edge here, and now we're going to get rid of our internal faces. Because we don't need those. This one's going to go here. Squeeze underneath, because Maya. Once. Not quite sure how these cut. Okay, we'll just bridge them up. These faces are not necessary. Like they go completely inside the body. We'll cap those off. Sweet. Maya is doing weird, and that's usually a prelude to shenanigans, so I'm gonna have to be very careful of crashes here. Okay, I'm being messy. I'm not quite sure how to do this, so we'll just throw spaghetti at the wall until something sticks. So we have a lot of internal polygons right now, and that is not ideal. Also, Meadowwolf, hi, welcome on in. Okay, fine, you win. I'm gonna delete some edges. We can always recreate them later on. Like fine, we'll rip the band-aid off entirely. We'll do it from scratch. Okay, so get rid of these. These. Oh, advertisements running. Get rid of these. Okay. We're basically just gonna redraw the topology in its entirety. Because, yeah, making thin surfaces like this is a hassle. But it's gonna be worth it. Okay, so my line of thinking is... I like how the line of thinking immediately stops. Come on, give me that vertex. This one's gonna be up here. Now we're getting somewhere. Cool. Yeah, how are you doing, Metal Wolf? I hope you're doing well. So welcome on in. If you don't mind me asking, how did you find my channel? It's always interested to see and hear how people like actually manage to find me on this corner of the internet. Delicious. Ah, that's good. Come on, so this is where this reprojection, or rather the projection issue is happening a lot. Where Maya doesn't quite sure know which faces are meant to go where, so it's just gonna... Like, we as people can see, okay, this is clearly a quad. Because this one is, like, inside of the mesh. It doesn't want to comply fully. Just move it up a notch. As far as I find you, I tend to look around for really well and find smaller creators. Hey, thank you. I'll have to drop by and say hi. Plus watch. Hey, thank you very much. Very much appreciated. Yeah, I've been streaming for a handful of months now. Only once a week, so I'm still very much a small fish in the pond. Yeah, it's been great to getting to know people. We have a few regulars here now, so that's also extremely nice. collapse this one into a triangle. And this is going to be the end. So now we extrude downwards. Try to stop by, see you streaming. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, and thank you very much for the follow. For some reason, find it easier to work on my own stuff with something going on in the background. Yeah, that is something I hear from a lot of people. They're having people on the second screen and they're either white noise or it's like kind of having a study buddy. Just, oh, we're both working, we keep each other in check. That's how we're gonna keep going. Okay. Let's see. Hey Blue, welcome on in. Not you doing, not that I'm treating you as just background noise. Don't want to be rude. All good. I don't take it in a negative way. I tend to do it a lot myself as well. Where okay, the people that I like to watch, like friends or people that are working on really cool projects. Like, I also turn them on the back screen, or the second screen. And just... How do you say it? It's like having them sit on the couch in the living room. Like, it's cozy. That's how I tend to see it. Yeah, thank you very much. Okay. We made it into a singular piece. Now we're just gonna make sure that our polyflow isn't too janky. In terms of like, we want our edges to be straight. We do not want there to be any, like, whatchamacallit. Yeah, we want our edge flow to be clean. Retopo is going well, Blue. Thank you very much for asking. So we're working on the belts today, and they're throwing some curveball, but nothing that we can't manage. Just have to keep everything concise. For example, this edge. Like, do we need this thing? No, we can just merge it. Yeah, so this is where things get a little bit weird. Because here in the top row, we have 2 polygons. And at the bottom, we have only 1 polygon that kind of like flows in the back. So here, we have this odd, uneven number. Because again, this thing is clipping through. It's only a very minor thingy, and I think we can handle that. So if I go delete these faces. Here. Could theoretically collapse this one here. I think I'd rather collapse it here on the back. Okay, and then here in the back we can just fill it in. Astral Haiti, thank you. Hi, how's it going? Hope the 3 projects going well. Yeah, it's going well. Currently we're working on retopology. Let's see. Let's see, let me zoom out for you a little bit. So currently we're working on some chest straps. If we have the full character revealed, we've taken a significant chunk out of the retopology. Currently we are working on the smaller accessories. And we've been working from the bottom up. So once this has been fixed, it might be time to tackle the face, which is scary. Because I learned a few things over the last couple of weeks. One of them includes how to do teeth, and I've always done the gums separately from the mouth bag, where you just clip into each other because like you never really see the transition. And now on a recent project, that actually got me into quite a bit of trouble, because when the character started to snarl, you actually saw that seam really well. So I might actually want to try and do something else for like teeth topology on this project. We'll see how it goes. For now we're focusing on the chest straps. Fight this guy again. Try to make sense of all of this. Yeah, so if we bridge here, fill hole, and now we can, with the cut tool, just go over it. Oh, because we have a triangle over there. This one needs to be connected here. This one goes, and now everything should line up. We can go, oh, not that line. Collapse, 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 collapse. Okay, we'll average them out a little bit. We will edit edge flow a little bit. Okay, I think this is fine. So, yeah, looking back at what we had. Turn off this one. Well, actually, this one can now go into the decimated models. So here we had these 2 separate belts, and now they're combined. Why do we have this shadow? Oh, it's because we have hard edges in there. We get rid of those. Soft edges. Let's do a little normal map bake. Just to see if this one works and to see if the rest of the belt holds up. The gum teeth sounds like an interesting problem to solve. Would love to see you work on that. Hey, thank you. Yeah, it's... Normally I keep the mouth interior very simple, because you barely see it, and I'd much rather focus on like other aspects of the character. But I think this character, like in the reference images, one of them is snarling, so I think it'll be good practice to do some teeth as well. Like, put more effort into it and learn a thing or two. Alright. Let's see. Create automatic UVs. Automatic mapping. I want to do these UVs a little proper from the get-go, because otherwise I think... Oh, no. Well... Okay. Mostly because this is a pet peeve of mine. I've seen people make belts, belt models, and then do really weird things with the UVs, while you can do it very clean. Because... okay. Bit of theory and practical advice. Belts are long strips of leather that you then just curve around your body. The fact that they are curved does not mean that the UVs need to be curved. You can lay them out flat in long strips, just like the belt would be if you would have put it on the floor. It is much easier to texture. You can project patterns on it. You can do so much more than trying to like work with UVs that are already curving, such as like chunks like this. So let me see if I can demo this briefly. What's going on here? What are you? You are an internal face that don't need to exist. Just triple checking, because sometimes in UVs you can see some weird stuff. Okay. So this is how I UV belts. Now watch me faceplant and like have something go horribly wrong. Spy technical error. That's a hole. Okay. So first off, gotta make sure that these two are separate. So cut. So we'll cut them like this. Okay. So here we have our two belts. Let's do this one first. Because it is a 3D image and we need to flatten it like a pancake, we will make a cut into it, and I will choose this bottom edge. It's the one in the middle. Not the one that's leaning on like the edge, it's the one that's straight down the middle. And we'll put a cut in there. Okay, it has done one on the top and the bottom. That's fine. Why are you still doing that? What happened here? Oh, we have a rogue vertex. That one needs to leave. We actually merge the vertices here because it looks like we have some issues. Okay, we don't. Cut. Okay, so we have the front and the back. We'll hit unfold, unfold, and then this is what you tend to see of more people who do an auto layout and then are happy with it. So if you have to model a pattern on this, you have to do it at a weird angle. If you have the center edge and you say straighten shell, if you have UV such as this, now you can just project a pattern on it from left to right, and it's so much easier. And this is also a lot easier to stack. We'll do the same for this one, straighten shell. And now we can merge the... We don't want an extra cut. So grab this edge. Move these together. This is here because this is some... what do you call it? Come on, brain. There, this needs to be done like this. Unfold. But you can see that it's starting to curl down again. Don't do that. Straighten your UVs. Nope. Merge. And now if you really want to, you can grab these UVs and say, okay, align everything to the maximum U. Align these to the minimum U. Unfold. Now you have a belt that's a lot more straightened out, and it's a lot easier to project textures on them. So it's just a couple of extra steps. I'm sure if you're working in Blender that you have a straighten function as well. And if we were to look at checkerboard UV, I think I still have them with reload somewhere. Yeah, so now you have checker, so the checker pattern follows the belt. There's no deformation in it as opposed to, let's grab this one. Or for example, if we were to do automatic mapping. Like if your UVs were to look like this. Where technically from a front view perspective, it indeed has no deformation because you can see the checkers trying to adhere to that. But having UVs such as this one will help you get better result a lot better. Or a lot easier. This is what I recommend for a lot of the projects out there. Okay. Same for this one. This one should be a little bit easier. Keyword should. Grab center line. Cut. So this one, we did some modifications to it, so I have to cut a bit more. Unfold. Unfold, unfold. So these were the UVs that I had on my first character, where a belt was just going at an angle. If I can go back to 2011, grab myself by the shoulder and shake vigorously. Don't do belts like that. Just straighten them out. Okay, now granted, sometimes something weird happens like this, and this is mainly because of our This topology is the one that we modified, so that's why it's looking a bit weird. So that's something we'll have to fix. But this is stuff that we can straighten out. Okay, so now we have to run a little bit of diagnosis of like, why is this going completely bonkers? Oh, guess we just have to do it again. Maya was just having a bit of a giggle. Okay, where do I want the seam? I want the seam to be on the... I'll have the seam be here. So we'll stitch this one. Okay, one mistake that I made here is that the... Let's see, where is it? UV toolkit. Text density is currently off, so if we get this one, that's 11. Set. And if we merge them now, they should... there shouldn't be such a... Yeah. They have the same texture density now, so basically the same scale. Now they'll play it a lot nicer. Okay. Time. We'll set these to minimum U. These to maximum B. Not U. Here. Or no, maximum. Even after 11 years, I will still mix up U and V. V. Yeah, so U is left to right. Is that a triangle? Yes, it is. Okay, cool. Okay, one step I forgot is... U. No, should be U. Okay, so once you have your border vertices on the inside, you can just hit unfold and it'll try to... it'll relax itself. Cool, and now we have two belts that are ready to get the bakes. Wait, Blue, are you telling me that Blender does not have this? I'm willing to put money that someone out there got frustrated enough where they wrote a plugin for it, so... Like, this is a really nice thing to have. So I hope someone made a Blender plugin for it, because straightening UVs is really nice. Let me just give these things a little bit more space. Now I know that we're still gonna like make some modifications over here. So I just wanted to demonstrate the straightening feature. We will change these UVs in a bit again, or rather the geometry, but for now we're gonna do a test bake. Let's see, back to ZBrush, because I need to get these high polys. Or rather, yeah, we decimated them to 77. Check with a glossy material like chrome. A little bit of faceting, so I'll just So it's like 40%. Okay. Export, and we'll call this one the proper high. You usually have to straighten it line by line. Oof. Yeah, no, there should be a cleaner way for that one. Like, I've done that in the past where I tried to do it line by line. Horrible use of your time, would not recommend, also mind-bogglingly frustrating. Putting in the high and low. High goes on high, low and low. Yeah. Please look into an add-on or just a feature inside Blender. Like, I legitimately cannot imagine that not being a thing. Okay, new material. I should probably actually start 2 maps. Cool. Okay, and we see some issues. What's going on here? Okay, so here this is probably because so here we have some things sticking outside of the cage. And again, baking from low poly or baking from high poly to low poly is based on casting rays from your low poly and see what hits. And if your high poly is outside of the cage, then that's not going to give you a good result. Same here. That little triangle is in there because we do not have proper gauge. So we'll just up this slightly. And we rebake. Should be gone. E. Alright, cool. So we're getting there. Yeah. Okay, probably not so much for the torso, but I imagine for the shoulder that it might be good to have an extra edge between everything, just so that those edges can also hold up the smoothing a little bit better. I'm not certain. I'll ask a more proficient rigger about it. Cool. But for now, successful test. And again, I'm doing all of these tests per object because I just want everything to look I would like everything be done step by step. There are artists out there that will model the entire thing, give it some mock-up UVs, and then do the bake, and then start fixing from there. I would like to take it step by step. There's a familiar name. Or rather, you have a different name, but I absolutely know you. Hi, welcome on in. I haven't worked on the fox character yet, but the hyena is doing well. Let's see, let's go back to Maya. Let's see if we can combine these two elements. This has always been your handle name. Ah, nice. Yeah, because in Discord you have a different name. Okay, how do we combine this? Okay, okay, we just flat out combine them. I'm gonna hop over to ZBrush real quick and just dynamesh them together. Just so I don't have to deal with the headache of flashing between them constantly. Hang on, why are you not creasing? You have like crease level 1 billion? 15? Yeah, you do. You should be on crease level 3. There we go. Hey Shay. Welcome on in. Let's see you on time, see a bit of your stream. Hey, let's go. Hey Labgoat, welcome on in. So many friends showing up. Very much appreciate that. Thank you all so much. Okay. This part we'll go to one subdivision. We don't want something of 500,000. 131 is more than enough. Though for the dynamesh it won't matter. Copy paste. Combine these two. Down, yes. And I know one of them is already decimated. I don't mind, because we're gonna dynamesh him again. We're gonna need a few more polygons than that. Dynamesh him at 4K. Okay. Because again, we get rid of a lot of these internal polygons, and now we'll just preprocess again. Because again, this is just for retopo. Decimate 2, that's a lot. Let's do like 20% again. Okay. Chest belts combined. Or, yeah. Yeah, nice to hear that you're doing well, Stray. It makes me happy to hear. Okay, let's see. Import. Chest straps, ornament combined. Yep, there it is. Now with these, so we already have quite a few polygons. Let's see, what can we combine? This one come over here. My apologies if you can hear the motorcyclist outside. People love doing revs outside in the streets. It's a long straight piece of road where a lot of people just like to open up the gas and then just go for it. This one's gonna come here. Because there is a wraparound that I would like to keep. I don't want to touch the ornament too much, because like a lot of these polygons are like already, like they're in subdivision positions, so those normal maps I know is going to go well. What if I were to just, once again, get rid of it and just recreate it by hand, because that tends to be faster. Yeah. Modeling, cutting tools. Cut here. Cut here. Give me the right one. Oh yeah, because we have all of this topology in the back here. But you don't see that. Yeah, because this is where the chest is clipping through, so... I think I can get away with it if I cut it here and then get rid of those polygons internally. Same for this one. Again, this is a little bit messy, but that's fine. Oh, yeah, and then over here in the back, we absolutely have to fix that. Okay, there's one point fixed. Hard edges. Okay. Yeah, I do believe I want to close this up, so I'm just gonna go here. Looks like we have enough polygons. Again, like on the back here, it's a little bit of ugly topology, but it's no one's ever gonna see that. So as long as no one in chat like calls it out, everything's gonna look just fine. Yeah, that one's fixed. Just have to do this a handful of times. Missing one edge. It's fine. Triangle. Cool. Yeah, so this is kind of when my brain turns off and it's like, okay, we have X amount of polygons. Have them match up. And just have it be a closed item. think we can merge this one over here. It's like it's on the point. This one. Not too certain about this one. Because again, the way that I'm looking at it is, here we have the center line of the belt becoming the outside, and that's not something I want. And we have this really gnarly flipped, like this is quite a contorted polygon. So see if I can mend that a bit. Where this polygon absolutely has to get readjusted. So. Polygon. But this one's gonna go here. Oh. Didn't quite grab the edge. So at the very least, I would like this. Oh. I would like this edge to more follow like this. I guess this can become a triangle, but I'd like to put it over here. Okay, and also with, as with the last one, we need an extra edge to have that curvature be in there. Okay. Gonna focus on this one. Then we're nearly home. How are we doing for time? We still have 35 minutes remaining. Let's see if we can fix this up before 6 o'clock my time. Bit of an iffy one. Yeah, because the inside of the belt here is getting mangled. And we're doing the thing again where this face is getting contorted. Can I find a better solution? Or rather, I should find a better solution. Oh, that's in 3 minutes. Be sure to stretch, be sure to hydrate. Do all the things that I've been skipping. One day I'll have a hydrate redeem. Not today. I should save though. Save. Get the bridge. Okay, this one's gonna get messy, I concede. Also, my brain is starting to get a little bit hazy again, so... It's not a pretty... That's not a pretty thingy. Versus, close up last few holes. Fill. Okay. Let's just be a hard edge. We have a hole here. Rather, this needs to get merged. Let's just turn this one to a hard edge for now. And these needs to be soft. Okay. Looking at this edge. Because we have a hole in here. That's not what we want, so this one needs to get hooked up here. Merge vertices. Soften edge, and then this vertex comes out. Okay. Whoa, what happened here? I must have hit triangulate by accident. Like, no, I'm gonna undo a whole bunch because I'm like missing an edge in there entirely. Oh, I think I hit spin edge. That's not good. Please let me have enough undo states. Ah, there we go. Yeah, so I must have hit spin edge or something like that, where it then tries to helicopter a bunch of stuff and you get that monstrosity. We don't want that. Okay, so in here, do the same thing, or rather repeat our actions. Where it's that one. Soften, rid of this one. Okay, let's do a quick bake. Because yeah. I'm getting a bit dizzy from all of this stuff. Alright. Let's see. This is star, yeah. Okay. I only showed this for demo purposes, these nice lovely straight UVs. For the moment, automatic mapping. I hope you can forgive me for this one. It's fine, it's only for the normal map bake. Right, export, chest belts. I'm gonna plop this in chest belts. Marmoset. Create you an update, chest belts. Yep, that's completely garbled. As is to be expected. And now from ZBrush, I need to grab that ornament. Yes. Oh, it's got UVs. That's not necessary. That's fine. Marmoset. take chest belts and we'll just depend it in here. Chest ring positioned. In the high poly you go, and rebake we shall. Hoppa. Okay, couple of issues. Like immediately over here we see something gnarly. What is that? A lot of other things do look acceptable, especially on the insides. Okay, so we have one issue here that we need to fix. Back to Maya. See what it is, because this is most likely just an old polygon. Oh yeah, like that thing does not know what it wants to be. Like, huge non-planar. That is absolutely something that will mess with your bake. And then this. Can we just bring this here? I think we can. Okay, new layout. Board. Arm set. Rebake, and that's fixed now. Cool. Okay. So yeah, that took that took more effort than I thought it was gonna take. But we got a good result. Like these chest belts, I'm proud of them. Though one thing is missing, they have studs on them, and we absolutely cannot forget about those. So ZBrush. Okay, this is where things may get a little bit bumpy, because these studs are most likely not centered on edges. And ideally, you do want them to be on edges, because otherwise you're gonna have... Yeah, you need studs. Like, they're part of the character, they're very cool. Let's see, export. Studs. Back to Maya. Import. Because I can then talk about a little thingy that a rigger told me back 2 companies ago by now. Let's see, chest studs. Cool. We don't care about the UVs just yet. Alright. So let's say that we have these elements. We are going to get sliding. Because, again, the way that our object moves, the weight weight painting of the body is going to get projected on the belt, and then the belt is hopefully going to have these studs in one place. If you want to make absolutely certain that you can pinpoint one weight paint to another, it's when you have 2 vertices that effectively sit in the same spot. So if we have this vertex, ideally we want it to be like right here. Hang on, where's my pen? Because again, like talking after 2.5 hours. Ideally, you want to have a pivot point that goes like this. And then from this pivot point, like this pivot point, whatever weight is in there. So for example, if it's like 0.2, that entire stud that goes on top of it, if that one gets a value of 0.2 as well, then those things line up and like everything's gonna be fine. because then they have the exact same value. That is going to remain exactly in the same spot. You will not get any sliding whatsoever. Now this thing is already a little bit dense. And again, if we change topology again, this will get a consequence, but for now, multi. These. And whatever information is going to be stored on this one, like on this vertex, is going to get passed on to the stud. And then you effectively move both at the same time. Because then it's going to move like, let's say like this. You have the exact same value. You will not get any issues with sliding bits of geometry. I tend to use this a lot for when, like, buttons on a jacket. If the buttons are physical objects rather than texture bake, I will slightly nudge the topology so that you can have a vertex that sits right underneath the button and then you transfer the weight. This one's gonna look a little bit more wonky because it's so off to the side, but it's fine. Same for this one. So yeah, the sheer purpose of that vertex is to have an anchor point for the stud that's above it. I was very close to this one already. And I should probably get rid of quite a few of these faces. Hi Deke, welcome on in. E. As always, if you destroy me, I explode. Let's see. Where does this one sit on that face? Almost done. Hang on, I believe there was a way to... Action constraint... Surface slide. Yeah. So now I can slide whatever I want, and... theoretically it should not leave its... it shouldn't move too far out, up and down. Evidently that's not working. Transform constraint along normals. No. I heck it. We'll just do it by hand. Alright, last one. Oh, hi Marin. Good morning. Don't be sorry that you're late. I'm still very happy that you're here. Okay. Now we gave him the vertices where these studs can then get anchored on. And I think that looks good. Alright, over here we had this issue. Probably because this thing's probably a bit too non-planar. It doesn't know what it wants to be, so we'll just help it. Oh, don't be sad about it. Oh no. God, more people exploding. Don't start a chain reaction, please. Okay, so we basically spent the entire stream working on a chest strap. Well, and we did some normal map baking. Looking at the topology, I'd say this looks decent. I say that as I look over here and be like, oh, this one's getting a little bit dicey. Though, we can't nudge it around too much yet because we still need to use for the bake. It is allowed, albeit carefully, to afterwards, after the baking is done, to grab this edge with a bit of soft select and then just nudge it out a little bit further so we reduce clipping. So yeah. We have some 10 minutes remaining. Is there anything that we can do? Or chat, is there anything that you would like to see or have questions about in the 3D model? Oh wait, I think we still have to do a quick test bake on this one. Checking in marmoset. We have... No, I did do a test bake and we had this weird occlusion here going on. I have to get going. Would love to catch your stream next time. Hope the rest of the retail goes well. Hey, thank you very much, Astral Hattie. And thank you very much for stopping by. Always nice seeing new faces. Oh wait, one tiny thing that we could fix. Here the bottom of these pans still need to get capped off. So I think I can do that in 10 minutes. Okay. Because, yeah. Body decimated. Now watch me find some sort of amazing error that's going to take far more than 10 minutes to fix. Yeah, because ideally... Hang on. Is this where I'm gonna... Because ideally, we want this to be watertight. This is 18 edges. This is 16 edges. I can come up with 2 edges. I can sneak those in. Actually put them right here. I feel like this silhouette probably could use another one. Triangle time. Yee. Look sharp and clean. Thank you very much. Also, how's your day been? Sounds like Retopa's been going pretty good. Yeah, Retopa's been going pretty well. Mainly working on the chest. We did normal baking on the shoulder pauldron. We did a bit of testing on like which UVs are best. Or, sorry, which, again, I have to be very careful with my words. Which are best suitable for this project, and I'm okay with just keeping them merged like this, rather than trying to add more cuts to it. Excuse me, pardon about that. Because again, I'll have to be careful with my words here. I don't think that there is a, oh yeah, this is the best way of doing this thing for every character in every future timeline ever. Like, no. Every character is going to throw curveballs at you. Every project will have things in it that makes you go, hang on a second, I don't know how to do that. And then you have to figure it out. Because, congratulations, that's the name of the game of game dev. Like, whenever you start a new project, it will have things in it that makes you go, hold up, I don't know how to do this. And then you figure it out. Because that's your job. Also, I probably want to add another edge here. First, I want to cap this. We'll just use an extrude function to get an equal. To get an equal space out. Move it slightly. Since this is a round edge, I'll give it 2 more edges. And also this is in a highly deformation area, such as the knee, so definitely want to have more than a couple of extra edges. Okay. And ideally, so it just needs to look like it has depth. So what I like to do, and again, on suggestion of previous riggers that I've worked with, just move it in slightly. Try to have it align with the previous edge. And then just cap it from there. So bridge. See if it doesn't make any large spins. Okay, we'll just fill hole for now. No. If I hit bridge and I just want to have... Gotta not touch my microphone. Bridge. Now with this one being like acting like a guide. Cool. Alright, that one's close up now. Soften those edges. There's one leg fixed. The other leg, we had this element coming in. Oh, advertisement starting soon. Great. This one's probably gonna give me a little bit of an issue because, let's see, this is 23 edges and the leg is gonna be 18. Heck. I'll have to think on that one because yeah, this one doesn't really have a whole lot of overlap. This one does. I'll have to think on what is like a proper solution for that one. But for now, I'm gonna snooze those ads. Hide. Okay. Combine those. Or rather, duplicate, combine. Bit on the world origin. Also, this one blew my mind. Let's say they have a scene with a lot of objects in it, and you're like, oh man, I want to put this item that's all the way at the bottom of the stack, all the way at the top, and you have to wait. You can split your outline, so you can just have 2 windows up, and then you can drag and drop from one to another very easily. I used Maya for 10 years before someone showed me that trick. I'm like, great, man, that would have been amazing when I had like a huge scene going on with like hundreds of objects. Okay. Now, again, we'll do the thing of 50. Not 55,000. And then we can see the difference of what we had last stream and what we have this stream. So we double stream. Spelling mistake. This thing has a prefix. I don't like those. Was that? Yeah, namespace. Nope, not you. General editors, namespace editors. Just get rid of those. Okay. So this is the progress that we had of this stream. Of getting the chest straps to work. Hang on, wireframes. Get the chest strap to work. Cleaned up the clasps a little bit. Cleaned up the shoulder a little bit. You can't see it, but it's there, I swear. Yeah, and then a lot of test baking. Cool. Oh, Marin, you have no idea how often I make that face whenever someone's just casually is like, oh yeah, by the way, you can do it like this in Maya. I'm like, cool, where were you 10 years ago? Alright. So I'll have to make some prep work for this one, but next week I think we are genuinely going to tackle the face. So hopefully I can take a big chunk out of it. Yeah, I'll definitely have to do some prep work, get some questions ready, and probably get the hair set up. And next week should be fun. But for now, we have reached the 3-hour mark, so let me go check up on who of the people that I follow is streaming. Let's see. We have not said hi to Volpin in a long time, and I can see Volpin working on a cool character. We're gonna say hi to Volpin. Oh, snooze those ads. Let's see, /raid. Yeah, alright. For everyone who stuck around, thank you immensely. I hope the stream was enjoyable and that you may have learned a thing or two from it. If you'd like to join us on the raid, let's go for a raid message of cozy vibes, as always. Come on. I have a microphone set up that blocks out my keyboard. I should find a different setup. Thank you all very much for watching. If you'd like to see more of me outside of streaming hours, I have a Blue Sky. Can I find it real quickly before the raid hits in? Yes, I can. So here's the link to it. Shameless self-plug. Then let's go say hi to Volpin. Thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.